Hey folks, I am at the LBJ National Grasslands for an overnighter, and that's how I'm celebrating the end of this Texas winter storm. Here we go. I'm excited to be here. It's LBJ National Grasslands. It's been on my to-do list for over a year now. A friend of mine and I were supposed to come out here and help a physician get into backpacking, but we never made it out because, COVID-19 hit. We had to put a lot of things on hold, but now that I've been immunized in a couple of ways against COVID-19 and just endured that Texas winter storm in 2021, I just had to get out here, at least for a night. So I'm at the Tadra, trailhead point, but I didn't bring enough cash with me to park in that area, but it's okay because I'm not going to use that facility. I'm going to hike on, I believe, Blue Trail, wind up in Piney Woods off of Yellow Trail, and then hiking in the morning after that. So that's my plan. I did wind up parking off of this 900 marker. So that's my car back there. There's a trailhead back there in the road. Looks like you can park there for free. So I'm gonna do that and get hiking. So again, Blue Trail, and then from there, get onto Yellow Trail somehow and stay the night at Piney Woods. I've got a new pack I got off a friend of mine. It's a ULA CDT. So I'm able to bring a bit more gear with me than I usually do. My total pack weight is 24 pounds, and that's bringing this stool with me. So I normally don't bring the stool. I was about to leave it in the trunk, but the ground's looking kind of wet, damp, because the snow is melting and melted. And I don't want to put my gear on the ground if I can help it, which would be my sleeping pad, which I've got on this side. Boom. Normally I'll let that double as my chair or my sitting pad, and if I can keep that dry and off the ground in this stuff, then I'll go ahead and do that. So altogether, I'm going to do about 15 miles. It'll be a loop, and it's going to be fun. I don't know about seeing any views. This is grassland. It's relatively flat. I think the most elevation I'm going to see is about 700 feet at most, but hopefully I see some deer, see some wildlife, capture that for you. Here we go. Probably wondering what kind of shoes I'm wearing. These little fly nets. Same thing I wear on all my trips. Crazy, right? Now, I would have worn my combat boots if it was colder. Check the forecast. I think the highs are going to be in the 50s today and tomorrow, and the lows around 28 at worst. But I think when you look at the hour by hour, it's more of going to be in the mid 30s, so just above freezing. Gonna be cold. So anyway, here's your fee, 10 bucks per vehicle. But again, I don't bring cash. I brought $4 whole. So don't rob me, I only have $4. But you'd fill out the envelope, drop it in here, there, and then ta-da. And then here's your info board. So some stuff there about COVID. They don't do trash service. You gotta pack out what you bring in. Don't be a redneck. Clean up after yourself. And if you do have fires, I think they have a burn ban going right now, but this place is used a lot by equestrian riders, so not too bad. This is the Tadra site, little water well over there. That'd be cool to check out. Not that particular one. Oh, doggy, I got a new friend. Oh man, this is cool. I made a little friend. I didn't get his name, but he's gonna follow me a little bit. His owner's actually back there. Chatted with him a bit. Oh, okay, bye. Bye. No. He almost came with me. The owner had to honk for him to go back. Oh, that was cool. That brightened my day. That really brightened my day. Puppies are fun. So I was a little worried I wouldn't have any trees to hang my hammock because I didn't want to put a tent on this stuff. It's wet. But I'm seeing trees. And again, my goal is to get to the Piney Woods Trail or Piney Woods camp area. And there, I mean, the name says Piney Woods, so I'm assuming to find plenty of trees. But I watched Craig's video from a year ago from Texas Hikeaholics, and it looked like there were plenty of trees all along the Blue Trail. I think he even hiked the orange trail and some of the yellow. So it looks like I'm gonna see a lot of this, even though it's called grasslands. I think I'm gonna see as much trees as anything else. So this is the trail marker I'll be looking for. The blue one is the one I'm looking for, but this one has all 4 of them right now. I went the wrong way already because I'm trying this All Trails app and I followed it. And then by the time I realized which way I was really going, I'm like, forget it. It's a loop. I'm gonna wind up back where I wanna go anyway, which is back to my car. So stay on the trail. But anyway, there are the markers for the most part. Yellow is gonna take me to Piney Woods. Blue is gonna take me to where I really wanna go. I have an alternate location that's about 8 miles in, 6 miles. So I'll stop there most likely and camp there instead. But you'll see straight ahead is the next marker. I'll be going through that gate and closing the gate. My understanding is wherever you see a closed gate and you go through it, do the right thing, close the gate after you've gone through. Now again, equestrian trail, so you're gonna see hoof marks on the ground. You're also gonna see horse poop all over the place, depending on when the last time was that horses have been out. Here's my trail marker. Okay. Off I go. There's the next marker. So some of the markers are these placards that you just saw. Some of them are these little streamers. Got some here. You got some straight ahead. We're hunting for rabbit. Unless that's not rabbit. Then I don't know what it is. Kind of cool track. So this is a creek right here. It's frozen over. Kind of tempted to down one of my bottles of water just to refill here. But I don't know where it starts. I'm gonna jump over that log there to cross. Actually, I could probably just cross right here. Skate across. Just don't want to get my feet cold so early in the day. All right. Not really tracking how many miles I've done so far. I probably should. I just wanted to point out real quick, it is nice out. Sun is out, the sky is blue, and as far as water goes, I'm not too worried. I mean, there was the creek I crossed that you saw a moment ago, and there were 2 ponds I didn't capture. This is actually the 3rd pond I've come across, I mean, it's frozen over right now. But if I needed to, I can go down here, bust open a little spot over the ice, take what I need, filter it, and I'm good to go. I know some people are worried about like horses pooping and peeing in the water and all that, but I mean, it's frozen. I filter it. Might have a little nutty taste to it. Who knows? But I don't see any yellow snow. I don't see any yellow ice. I see some tracks though. I'm gonna get that shot. Give you a shot at this pond. But as far as water sources go, Blue Trail pretty much has it. So that's good. So there are white-tailed deer on both sides of the trail. I just missed one. There were two over here a moment ago. So if I'm lucky and I pay attention, I'll catch them. Not by hand, but anyway. Biggest regret though, it is muddy. Muddy. So I spend as much time skating on the mud as I do hiking. So you might be wondering, why hike if it's muddy? Well, it wasn't that muddy when I started. Whew, here we go. Okay, that was, you almost got a fall there. I just slid down that hill. But anyway, I'm thinking the sun will dry out the trail quite a bit today. It'll freeze overnight. And if I leave early enough, I'll leave before it melts. So I'll have relatively a hard ground to hike on. If I lollygag too much, then it's more of the same, and it's what I deserve. So that's my plan. That's my strategy. That's what I'm thinking. That's cold. You know, if it wasn't so sketchy getting down there, you know, being muddy and all, it'd be a great place to resupply for water as well. So food for thought. If you come out here in the spring or the summer and it's dry, that's a good spot. There you are. So a bit of a crossroad. Oh, snow. I'm going left to stay on blue. But if I wanted to check out the Piney Woods camp area, this is where I'd turn to the right. But since I went the wrong way for the loop that I intended, I'm gonna skip Piney Woods, go on that way. There's some kind of mill campground that has a well, and that's my plan. It's about the halfway mark on this 14-mile loop. So, to that way. Cool thing about doing a 14-mile loop in 24 hours, I'm in no rush whatsoever. So I'm stopping to take pictures of tracks. I'm pretending to know what I'm looking at when I look at birds. Apparently scaring off white-tailed deer because they hear me before I see them and they take off so I don't get video. But I mean, this doesn't have a lot for views. Ooh, I'm in a piney wooded area. Look at that. Like my hair, guys? So, as far as views, not a whole lot. I believe there's a bird of prey or a vulture circling up there. Hopefully it's not for me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so as far as vista views, don't expect any. Not here at the grasslands. But if you want to just get out away from nature, unplug, because I've had zero cell phone signal the entire time I've been here, then this is the good place. If you want to do a shakedown, you want something relatively flat, this is the right place. You want to do a day hike, and you can knock out 14 miles in one day, Blue Trail. It's more like 9, do a different one. If you want to do a big one, I think there's a 24-mile loop. I forget which color, but you just go to the LBJ Grasslands government website and it'll tell you the length of all 4 trails. About it. Probably the best thing about winter camping in Texas is it's the time of the year, probably the only time of the year, you can take chocolate on the trail and enjoy it the way it was intended, not as a melted glop of brown goo. So summertime, springtime, fall, don't count on chocolate holding together. Wintertime, you're missing out if you're not bringing chocolate. That's mud. To that way. And yes, to be clear, if you're about 6 feet tall, that gate, not gonna be a problem for you. If you're 5'4", you're gonna be about 5'5" when you're done. Now we're talking grasslands. Look at that. This reminds me of the terrain in California at Fort Hunter Liggett when my dad was stationed there. It's a training area for the US military. I think mostly the Marines use it nowadays, but the Army did too for a time. I don't even know if it's open anymore. But anyway, my brother, myself, my friends, we'd kind of walk into the training area, go check out this little river that was within a couple of miles of our trailer park. Yeah, that place was so out in the middle of nowhere. It didn't even have a housing area for everybody, only if you were an officer. And then everybody else lived right outside the gate in a trailer park in a small town called Jolon, J-O-L-O-N. So this terrain reminds me a lot of that. And I think, oh, I thought I saw a cow, but 'tis not. That's good, because I was also worried it was a bull, and I had no idea how to take that guy on. Two towers. Cool. Maybe I'll see some orcs. Little land nav secret for me, be kind of lazy in terms of, getting lost and stuff, because if I ever get worse, or to a place that's bad enough, I should say. There we go. Let's use some grammar here. There are these two towers kind of at the edge of the trail civilization. And I know from the Tadra map, if I just lose my bearing, wind up on a side road, if I find those two towers out there and I get to them, I can find my bearing. And by the way, I'm gonna check out that little windmill right there. My whole point in pointing out those two towers is that if you're out in the wilderness and you're close enough to civilization, you can find some structure that just stands out like a sore thumb. That becomes your reference point. It's your reference point where you are on the land, but also your reference point on a map. Because chances are something as big as those two towers is indeed on a map. And if you look up the Tadra map, the trail map, those towers are there. They're even marked as the two towers, I think. This windmill I'm coming up to also is on the map. So if you know how to triangulate, You can figure out where you are based on your position, the angle to that windmill, the angle to those towers, intersect them on a reverse azimuth, and boom. Maybe if I get bored enough one day, I'll show you how to do that, but chances are somebody out there has already done a video on YouTube on how to triangulate your position. So if I find it, I'll put it in the link of this video. If not, if I get bored enough, I'll do it. But not right now, because I'm gonna go look at this well. It looks like that windmill is designed to pump water into that bin, or that bin, for the cattle that graze. For whatever reason though, it's empty. That's okay. Something to keep in mind though, a semi-reliable water source. Now in the wintertime, it's just gonna be cold water. Looks like it's not really in use though. This one's got holes all up in it. This one's okay. So maybe that's why the pipe isn't going to that one. But you know, the wintertime, maybe you get some leaves in there, not a whole lot of bugs. But I've seen these at other parks during the spring, during the summer. Here in Texas, it just becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes and bugs. It kind of smells a little foul. Great for horses, great for cattle. Takes a little bit of a strong stomach to filter it and drink it yourself. If you ever have to, number one, use a filter. And number two, it wouldn't hurt to have some like flavor tablets or what is it, like Mio, the little flavorings that you buy at the grocery store, just to flavor that up a bit. Maybe throw in some sugar and some salt. So the sugar to give some sweetness, a little bit of salt to help replace some of that sodium you've been losing if you've been sweating during the spring or summer. So anyway, water hack, if you come across those. But that one didn't seem to be working. That's good to know. The other thing I've been thinking about with these ponds, I've found a multitude of ponds. So far, every pond that is on the map has actually had water in it, which is very different than the creek map I had when I went to the Wichita National Forest, where every creek, except for like one at the very beginning of the trail, every other creek was not so much a creek, but a seasonal runoff when they have a heavier rain once a year. So this is kind of a breath of fresh air in that all the ponds I've come across have actually had water. I'm starting to wonder though if that's because we just had that winter storm. So they've been filled with water, with snow and ice. And now that that ice is melting, you got water. Right? Makes sense. So I am curious how reliable those ponds are when it's summertime. Are they dry as a bone, or are they filled by some aquifer or spring I don't see? Anyway, if you know because you've done the Blue Trail at LBJ National National Grasslands, put it in the comments so we all know. That thing is maybe about 100 feet away from me. Uh-oh. I laid in my hammock. Now I'm gonna wake up 2 hours in the future. Time travel. So that's my shelter for tonight. I'm just gonna sleep under the stars. Got myself 3 layers of insulation on the bottom. So there's one of those like solar screens that you get for your windshield in your car. So that's gonna give me some insulation. A little bit of R value. Then I've got my Thermarest Z-Light. That's going to give me down to about 50 degrees plus what the windshield screen can do. And then I've got my poncho liner underneath because I remember doing that the last time I camped out in cold weather. And that leaves for a nice toasty night. My sleeping bag itself is a 40-degree bag. I think temperatures are going to get probably as low as 25 degrees tonight. I think it's going to be a warmer night tonight. So it's probably going to be what it's forecasted, which is around 30 degrees, give or take a couple degrees. But the way I'm going to cheat the system and be able to be warm is, so I've got this fleece. I'm gonna change my shirt out to something drier, a long sleeve t-shirt that I've got. Then I'll have this fleece. Then I'll have a puffy jacket that you haven't seen yet, but I've got a puffy jacket. I'm gonna wear that. And then for the bottoms, I'm gonna change out my pants for some thermals. I've got some polypropylene thermals from when I was in the Army. They are toasty. So there we go. In the grasslands, it is dispersed camping if you're not at one of the campsites. So that's what I'm doing. Found some trees where they were just wide enough for my hammock. So part of the reason why I'm not doing a tarp is there isn't enough room. There's a tree in the way that won't allow me to put my tarp out. So it's kind of the gamble I'm taking, but I really don't think it's going to snow or rain tonight. So I'm pretty confident on that. Saw the forecast. I'm looking up at the sky. There's no indication that it's going to rain. I might have some dew dripping on me from the trees, but it's not too bad. Plan to get up at sunrise, have some breakfast, and hike in. It looks like I wound up doing 8 miles out of the original 14.6 mile loop. I kept blowing past the ponds where I thought I wanted to camp. So I passed the first one. I was like, oh, well, I'll go to this one. Past that one, and I think by the 4th or 5th pond, I realized I'm just making a better pace than I thought. Let me just hike as long as I can until about 5. And I did that, and then it just became a matter of, all right, first set of trees I find where I can put my hammock up, that's what's going to be, and I don't care about the view because it's the grasslands. I've only found one view, one vista this entire trip, and I'm not going back there. So yeah, I'll wake up in the morning, 6 mile hike, and that'll be the end of the trip. I'll go on home to Dallas and meal prep for the week, so I eat healthy all week. So there you have it. Tonight dinner is going to be, feeling a little lazy, so I'll probably just brew some tea up, pretend I'm British, and I've got some beef sticks and some trail mix. I could make a soup. I brought the dehydrated goods for that, but I don't feel like it. Yeah, it's been a long day, long hike, and I'd rather just kind of eat, relax, turn my phone off, save battery, because guess who forgot the charging cable again? Yeah, you'd think I learned that lesson back at Goodwater, but nope. Been a few months, messed up again. So there you have it. There's my crib for the night. There is, oh, where's my gear? Okay, well, there you go. Good morning. I slept good. Nice toasty. No idea how cold it was, but outside. But on the inside, didn't feel it. Not once. So it worked out really well. Yep. Now I just want to lay here. It's so snug. But I've got 6 miles to hike. Got things to do. So I guess I should get up. We'll see. And just like that, no trace left behind. Time to head on out. Ground is definitely drier so far. Of course, this is only the first quarter of a mile. This isn't the other 6 miles I gotta hike. So we'll see. But so far, looks like my hunch was correct. The sun would dry out most of the water. It'd freeze overnight. Give me some terra firma to walk on first thing in the morning. Oh, it's moved on. Damn. White-tailed deer. If I'm quiet enough, maybe I'll catch it on video. That was close. The reason why I like hiking in the morning when everybody else would rather just stay snuggled up in their sleeping bags or chill at the fire or make breakfast. Wildlife is active from like 5 a.m. till maybe 8 or 9 a.m. Game trail right there. So I think that's a coyote, maybe a fox. I'll have to look at the video later. But that thing was 100 feet away from me, right there on the trail, like right where I'm standing now. And I was up there on the top of that hill. And he bolted, or she. That was, not gonna lie, my heart started racing a little bit. How was it gonna react? And fortunately it was skittish and took off. Could have gone the other way, I guess. Like, hey, this guy's a nice, fat, juicy morsel. It's nom nom nom. So, anyway, so far, 2 white-tailed deer, coyote or fox, and a bunch of cardinals or red jays. Let's see what else I can capture. This is pretty cool. The National Ecological Observatory Network, NEON, has this pathway that goes down to what I think is a platform for observing wildlife and plants and all that stuff. But anyway, my path is this way. I see the blue trail marker over there. And looks like I was wrong about the mud. It's present. Only on the uphill though, so makes things more interesting that way, I guess. Whereas yesterday I was fighting mud uphill, skating mud or surfing mud downhill. And that was made for slow going, I'll tell you that. I think I kept a whopping 1 mile an hour pace because of it. I can normally do 2 to 3 miles an hour in terrain like this. I mean, it's flat, but a little different when you throw in mud. There are my 2 towers right there. Okay, I was wrong. I said don't expect any nice views in this place, but something about this big open meadow. You can see some hills in the very back over there. Yeah, there's a house or something over there, but this place is surrounded by ranches. But this is nice. Just gotta look up once in a while. And this tells me I am 2 miles out from the trailhead. What a sight, what a sight. 12 miles down, 2 more to go. Ah, crap. So the trail is actually along this fence, but I wanted to see this lake, so I'm walking on the road, the hard ball, if you will.